I'm on the Hill of Beans, my favourite place. This is day number 9 of 9, which is amazing. Set myself a challenge of doing 28 days. The challenge was really to get to the end of January, and when I set it up, it just so happened to be whatever, the 3rd or the 4th. So I got a lot in my mind, and I wasn't planning on recording, which is why I'm on my phone, not on a proper camera. Although, who's to say this isn't a proper camera? Acta was asking this morning on a forum about whether she should use her GoPro or use her Sony, and I was like, use your Sony. I always use my Sony. But then I finished by saying the best camera is the one you have with you, and if that happens to be your phone, which today is the case. So here we are. I'm having a bit of an existential crisis today, and did a lot of journaling this morning and got a result I wasn't expecting, actually. I don't know how deeply to go into it because it's all kind of current right now, but the long and short of it is that I was contemplating applying for a job, which it seems tailor-made for me. However, it's what came up for me this morning was that it feels like I'm quitting on any notion of success with content. You know, YouTube, affiliate marketing, writing. These are all things that have been good for me over the last year. And it feels like if I were to get a job, then I just wouldn't have the time. Conversely, if I got a job that was actually bringing money in, I could afford an editor. So that's a factor. So I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. So thankfully I had the wherewithal to get out, just me and Chloe. Isn't she gorgeous? So I got out, up the hill, and listening to John Roderick and Marilyn Mann on my favourite podcast, which is called Roderick on the Line, and contemplating how much I would love to do a podcast show like that, where it's a conversation between two friends who have a shared history and shared cultural background. And I have reached out to one friend, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, and got a knock back. I mean, it's not an easy thing to do, jump on a microphone and record a conversation that's intended for public consumption. You know, I realise that's not for everyone. And I have some people that I can think of with whom I would love to do it, but I'm pretty sure they would say no. Although, who knows? Maybe ask anyway. And where would it go in terms of revenue and business building? Well, I don't really know. This is one of the things I've been looking at this month as I attempt to do my annual review, is to see what worked for me last year and what didn't. And at the beginning of January, when I got my YouTube numbers through for the year, I was feeling really low. And tried to talk myself into not caring, and got there to some extent. Yeah, trying to keep in mind that I make the content because it helps me and hopefully helps other people. And if it can help just one other person, then it's worth doing, is it not? And I got a message this morning from somebody to say that they found my content helpful, and they thought I looked like Tam Mullen in Still Game. I can kind of see it, I suppose. So, what do I do? What's come up for me today is, well, first of all, having talked to my wife about this job opportunity, she thinks it's a great idea. Now I'm going to have to tell her I'm not so sure. I was expecting, as I wrote my morning pages today, to basically talk myself into applying. And that's not what happened. I talked myself into not applying. You know, as I've said, that surprised me. So now I'm going to have to go home and talk to her. That's what I'll do. And thinking that this could maybe act as a wake-up call if if I make it act as a wake-up call, which is to say that I start to manage my time better, I start to prioritise content better, because what's getting me down right now is that most of my editing time goes into my affiliate marketing channel, and that really should have an editor, but I can't afford an editor. I'm not bringing in any revenue, so I'm doing it myself, and I acknowledge that it's a good thing because I'm picking up skills all the way, learning how to edit quicker, more efficiently. Each iteration gets slightly better, but you know, it can take 2-3 hours to do an edit, and then I've got life, you know, chores and exercise and sleep and meals and shopping and all that stuff. So am I complaining about having only 3 hours a day to work? Seems a bit crazy, doesn't it? Well, there's the garage calling. That'll be them letting me know that my car's ready, hopefully. I'm going to take this. Yep, car's ready, so it's past its MOT, which is nice, yay! So yeah, I'll talk to Lorraine, I'll see what she says about what she thinks. I know what she thinks. She thinks I should apply, because right now she's carrying the family. She's the sole breadwinner. It's getting a bit windy to do this now, isn't it? So, I don't know. Go home and talk to her, collect the car, edit a video, and this annual review it's making progress. I did a couple of hours on it yesterday. It needs more though, it needs more reflection. And that kind of task, I mean, annual reviews, monthly reviews, making content, making videos, making podcasts, writing articles, these are all things that help my mental health. But what doesn't help my mental health is being skint and being codependent on my wife, which is a thing I've acknowledged I'm trying to deal with in my head. But the feelings of guilt that I carry around because of her stress levels and the fact that she's carrying us all on her own, you know, maybe just getting a job would be the right move. I don't know. Hey, it's now a couple of days later. I thought I would check in and let you know how the decision making process went. Well, as I said at the end of the previous section, I was going to go home and talk it through with my wife, and I did that, and it went really well. So one of my character defects is that I'm very insular and enclosed, which might sound strange to you since I'm here recording a video for public consumption. But when it comes to talking about thoughts and feelings with my loved ones, i.e. my wife, I'm kind of blocked in some ways, and that bothers me. So I was able to overcome that. I actually sat down to start filling in the application for the job, and I reached a section that I wanted to consult my wife on, which was basically the section that we all dread, which is when it asks you for salary expectations, right? So I went through and I had a chat with my wife about it, and that led to my opening up, which was really nice. I'm really grateful that I was able to do that. And we had a wonderful conversation in which we came to the conclusion that, or perhaps I came to the conclusion that I would rather follow my heart than my head. And what was bothering me was, or is rather, is the guilt that I'm carrying around at not earning any money. Now, I touched on this earlier in the video, in the previous section, so it won't come as a surprise to you. But talking it through with my wife and receiving the most amazing love and support from her encouraging me to follow my heart, telling me that, okay, she's not happy to carry on as things are, but she has faith in me and what I'm doing. And so I went back to my computer and closed the tab. And then I wrote an email off to the job advertiser to let them know, because I had already registered my interest. So I sent him an email to let him know that I wasn't going to be continuing with the application. I was going to just drop it and follow my heart and continue to make content that helps me and hopefully can help other people as well. So on the back of that, I've been feeling kind of boosted. Now, it may be that I'm in a manic upswing phase. I'm not going to question it. It's nice. And I'm feeling confident, and I mean, that's why I'm doing this, because I don't do this kind of thing when I'm not feeling confident. So it's good. I'm going into the year with some ideas and some enthusiasm and some upbeatness, if you want to make a word that doesn't exist into a word. Now I'm kind of trapped here because I'm at a log. I can't get past it. And Clover's eating something. I'll see if I can sneak it out the way. There we go. So yeah, I have ideas about expanding my content, about bringing other people into my channel, about expanding or about exploring lots of ideas about recovery, methods of recovery, spirituality, about how we can all be our own worst enemies and get in our own way, about how judgment and fear, all the things I like to talk about, you know. So I'm excited to go into this year and explore these ideas and come up with some content that will hopefully help me to grow, help my channel to grow and reach more people so that I can help more people. Because ultimately that's what it's about. I've spoken at length through the year, last year, about aligning my actions towards my guiding principles, about how I came up with my guiding principles and what they are. And that's something I'm continuing into this year. My guiding principles, for those who haven't watched my earlier content, or the main one, let's call it the guiding principle, is love. Love towards my fellow humans, towards myself. So self-care becomes extremely important, and caring for others becomes paramount. You know, starting with family, or starting with self, and then trickling down to family, and then to everyone. So this is what I'm expecting to explore this year, about continuing with my self-care routine, which at the moment involves this walk every day, journaling, meditation, and then work. You know, then crack on with my content once I have taken care of the things like eating, exercising, sleeping, meditating, journaling, morning pages, that's a big one. And then going into the day feeling energised, positive, enthusiastic, and ready to face whatever comes. So it's going to be a good year. I am convinced of that. I am going to make sure that this is a good year. And I would love it if you would join me, follow along and be part of this amazing community that I'm going to build of healthy, wholesome people who look after themselves and their loved ones. So yeah, there we go. Video made, job done. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye for now.